This time we'll see how textures can be used to substitute for geometry, and how multi-layer textures can produce some really advanced effects. We'll use the classical column we made in the first tutorial. It's a subdivision surfaces object right now, so the first thing to do is to extract the final surface. Also, make sure the UV map of the column is correct by applying cylindrical UV. Now I'll load up a marble texture and paint the column. This texture uses the standard Caligari marble color shader. That looks nice, but it would be even better if we could add some flutes to the column shaft. I'm going to do this by adding a bump map to my textures. Switch to a front view and go into point editing mode, and making sure the backside option is on, use the rectangular selection tool to select the faces of the column shaft. Because I shall be needing this selection again in a minute, I'll save it as a named selection. Now use the Paint Face tool to apply the new texture to the selected faces. Now we have a pretty good fluted surface on our column. With a little extra work, the bump map could easily substitute for actual model flutes, even in a close-up. It doesn't stop there, of course. We can add the joints between the individual stones making up the column by layering another bump map and using the same map as a transparency filter, so that the flutes still show up. Use the Name Selection dialog to select the faces of the shaft again, and then paint on the new texture. And now we'll go the whole 9 yards by adding some weathering and vegetation to the column too. In this case we'll apply a new basic marble colour with a grunge matte layer and a layer of foliage. Now we'll reselect the shaft faces and add the flutes and segment bumps. And there's your weathered overgrown column.